Welcome to Hockey Wiz Talks podcast. Today I'll be doing a recap of the 2024 NHL trade deadline. In this podcast, I'll be recapping all of the major trades that occurred leading up to and during the NHL trade deadline, and giving each team a grade for the trade deadline, as well as listing the winners and losers for the deadline. Here are some of the trades that occurred prior to the deadline. Carolina Hurricanes acquire forward Jake Guentzel and defenseman Ty Smith from the Pittsburgh Penguins for forward Michael Bunting, forward prospect Vasily Ponomarev, and Vili Koivunen, as well as the rights to forward Cruz Lucius, a conditional first-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft, and a conditional fifth-round pick in the 24 NHL Draft. Colorado Avalanche acquired defenseman Sean Walker and a fifth-round pick in the 2026 NHL Draft from the Philadelphia Flyers for forward Ryan Johansson and a conditional first-round pick in the 25 NHL Draft. Philadelphia waived Ryan Johansson immediately after. The Avalanche also acquired forward Casey Mittelstadt from the Buffalo Sabres for defenseman Bowen Byram. Colorado also made two other minor trades, acquiring forward Brandon Duhaime from the Minnesota Wild for a third-round pick in 2026, as well as acquiring forward Yakov Trenin, as well as the rights to unsigned draft choice defenseman Graham Sword from the Nashville Predators for defenseman Jeremy Hansel and a third-round pick in the 25 NHL Draft. Dallas Stars acquired defenseman Chris Tanev and goalie prospect Cole Brady in a three-team trade with the Calgary Flames and New Jersey Devils. Calgary receives defensive prospect Artem Grushnikov and Dallas' second-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft and a conditional third-round pick in the 2026 NHL Draft, while New Jersey gets Dallas' fourth-round pick in the 26th Draft. Edmonton Oilers acquire forward Adam Henrique, Sam Carrick, and unsigned draft choice goalie Ty Taylor, and a seventh-round draft pick in the 2024 NHL Draft, and a three-team trade with the Anaheim Ducks and Tampa Bay Lightning. Anaheim receives a first-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft and a conditional fifth-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft from Edmonton, while Tampa Bay receives a fourth-round pick in the 2026 NHL Draft from Edmonton. Edmonton Oilers also acquired defenseman Troy Stecher and a seventh-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft from the Arizona Coyotes for a fourth-round pick in the 2027 NHL Draft. Florida Panthers acquire forward Vladimir Tarasenko from the Ottawa Senators for a conditional fourth-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft and a third-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft. Montreal Canadiens acquire forward Jacob Perreault from the Anaheim Ducks for forward Jan Mysak. Nashville Predators acquire forward Anthony Beauvillier from the Chicago Blackhawks for a fifth-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft. New York Rangers acquire forward Alexander Wenberg from the Seattle Kraken for a second-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft and a conditional fourth-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft. Tampa Bay Lightning acquired forward Anthony Duclair from the San Jose Sharks for defensive prospect Jack Thompson and a third-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft. Tampa Bay also received a seventh-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft. Toronto Maple Leafs acquired defenseman Ilya Lyubushkin in a three-team trade with the Anaheim Ducks and Carolina Hurricanes. Anaheim receives Toronto's third-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft. Carolina receives Toronto's sixth-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft. And Toronto also receives Carolina forward prospect Kirill Slepets. Some other minor deals the Maple Leafs made was acquiring defenseman Joel Edmundson from the Washington Capitals for a third-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft and a fifth-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft. The Leafs also acquired unsigned draft choice defenseman Cade Weber from the Carolina Hurricanes for a sixth-round pick in the 2026 NHL Draft. Vegas Golden Knights acquired defenseman Noah Hanifin in a three-team trade with the Calgary Flames and Philadelphia Flyers. Calgary receives a first-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft, defenseman Daniil Miramanov, and a conditional third-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft. Philadelphia receives a fifth-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft. Vegas also acquired forward Anthony Mantha from the Washington Capitals for a second-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft and a fourth-round pick in the 2026 NHL Draft. Vancouver Canucks acquire forward Elias Lindholm from the Calgary Flames for forward Andrei Kuzmenko, the rights to unsigned defensive prospects, and Joni Jurmo, a first-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft, and a conditional pick in the 24 NHL Draft as well. The Winnipeg Jets acquire forward Sean Monahan from the Montreal Canadiens for a first-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft and a conditional third-round pick in the 2027 NHL Draft. And now a word from our sponsor. Check out my scouting blog at hockeywiz777scouting.com. Listen to my scouting blog podcast on podcasters.spotify.com/pod/show/hockeywiz777scouting. Here are some of the trade deadline trades that went down today. Boston Bruins acquired forward Pat Maroon from the Minnesota Wild for forward Luke Toporowski and a conditional 6th-round pick in the 2026 NHL Draft. The Bruins also acquired defenseman Andrew Peeke from the Columbus Blue Jackets for defenseman Jacob Zaboral and a 3rd-round pick in the 2027 NHL Draft. Calgary Flames acquired defenseman Nikita Achotu from the San Jose Sharks for a 2024 5th-round pick. Carolina Hurricanes acquire forward Evgeny Kuznetsov from the Washington Capitals for a 3rd-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft. Florida Panthers acquire forward Kyle Oposto from the Buffalo Sabres for defenseman Callie Solin for defenseman Callie Jolin and a conditional pick in the 2024 NHL Draft. Nashville Predators acquire forward Jason Zucker from the Arizona Coyotes for a 6th-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft. New Jersey Devils acquired goaltender Jake Allen from the Montreal Canadiens for a conditional 3rd-round pick, which can become a 2nd-round pick based on games played. The Habs retain 50% of Allen's contract. New Jersey Devils trade Vitek Vanecek and a 7th-round pick in 2025 to the San Jose Sharks for Kaapo Kähkönen. New York Rangers acquired forward Jack Roslovic from the Columbus Blue Jackets for a conditional 2026 4th-round pick, which can become a 3rd if the Rangers reach the Stanley Cup Finals. The Rangers also acquired Chad Ruhwedel from the Pittsburgh Penguins for a 4th-round pick in the 2027 NHL Draft. Philadelphia Flyers acquired forward Denis Gurianov from the Nashville Predators for forward Wade Allison. Philadelphia Flyers also acquired defenseman Eric Johnson from the Buffalo Sabres for a 4th-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft. San Jose Sharks acquired forward Klim Kostin from the Detroit Red Wings for forward Radim Simek and a 7th-round pick in the 2024 NHL Draft. Tampa Bay Lightning acquired Matt Dumba and a 7th-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft from the Arizona Coyotes for a 5th-round pick in the 2027 NHL Draft. Toronto Maple Leafs acquired Connor Dewar from the Minnesota Wild for a 2026 4th-round pick. Vegas Golden Knights acquired Thomas Hertl, a 3rd-round pick in 2025 and a 3rd-round pick in 2027 from the San Jose Sharks for David Enstrom and a 1st-round pick in 2025. San Jose retains 17% of Hertl's contract. Winnipeg Jets acquire forward Tyler Toffoli from the New Jersey Devils for a 3rd-round pick in 2024 and a 2nd-round pick in 2025. The Jets also acquired Colin Miller from the New Jersey Devils for a 4th-round pick in 2026. Here are my NHL trade deadline grades. Anaheim Ducks B, Arizona Coyotes C-, Boston Bruins C-, Buffalo Sabres B, Calgary Flames C+, Carolina Hurricanes B, Chicago Blackhawks C, Colorado Avalanche A, Columbus Blue Jackets C, Dallas Stars B-, Detroit Red Wings C, Edmonton Oilers C+, Florida Panthers B+, LA Kings C, Minnesota Wild C, Montreal Canadiens C+, Nashville Predators B+, New Jersey Devils C-, New York Islanders C-, New York Rangers B-, Philadelphia Flyers B, Pittsburgh Penguins C-, San Jose Sharks D, Seattle Kraken C+, St. Louis Blues C+, Tampa Bay Lightning C+, Toronto Maple Leafs C, Vancouver Canucks B-, Vegas Golden Knights A-, Vegas Golden Knights A, Washington Capitals B-, Winnipeg Jets A-. Check out my hockey blog at hockeywiztalkshockey.blogspot.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at hockeywiz777. The winners of this NHL trade deadline are the Buffalo Sabres, Carolina Hurricanes, Colorado Avalanche, Florida Panthers, Nashville Predators, Vegas Golden Knights, and Winnipeg Jets. The Buffalo Sabres added Bowen Byram to their defensive core. The Carolina Hurricanes added Jake Guentzel and Evgeny Kuznetsov, which adds more offensive firepower to the team. The Colorado Avalanche added Casey Mittelstadt, Yakov Trenin, and Brandon Duhaime to bolster their offensive depth, and Sean Walker to bolster their defense. Although they did have to lose Bowen Byram, they were able to get rid of Ryan Johansson. The Florida Panthers added Vladimir Tarasenko and Kyle Oposo on top of an already dangerous core. The Nashville Predators added Jason Zucker and Anthony Beauvillier for next to nothing. The Vegas Golden Knights continue to finesse the NHL by adding Thomas Hertl, Noah Hanifin, and Anthony Mantha for their playoff run by using their use of long-term IR space, while the Winnipeg Jets added Sean Monahan and Tyler Toffoli to bolster their secondary scoring. The losers of this NHL trade deadline are the Calgary Flames, Edmonton Oilers, Los Angeles Kings, New Jersey Devils, New York Islanders, Pittsburgh Penguins, and San Jose Sharks. The Calgary Flames had to trade away Elias Lindholm, Noah Hanifin, and Chris Tanev, and are left with an unhappy Jacob Markstrom due to consistent trade rumors. Edmonton Oilers added Adam Henrique at the deadline, but had to overpay for him, then didn't really do anything else besides add depth defenseman Troy Stecher. LA Kings needed a defenseman desperately. LA Kings needed a goalie desperately, but were not able to acquire one. New Jersey Devils traded Tyler Toffoli for picks, then added stopgap goalie Jake Allen, but as an added bonus, they were able to dump Vitek Vanecek's contract on the San Jose Sharks, acquiring Kaapo Kähkönen, who is a UFA, which frees up some cap space to be able to acquire a goalie in the offseason. New York Islanders chose to stay pat at the trade deadline despite having a need for some depth scoring. The Pittsburgh Penguins traded Jake Guentzel and will likely miss out on the playoffs this year, wasting a phenomenal year from Sidney Crosby. San Jose Sharks had solid acquisitions by trading away Anthony Duclair and acquiring Klim Kostin, but then gifted Thomas Hertl to division rival Vegas. Listen to Hockey Whiz Talks podcast on Podbean and Spotify. Check out my travel channel at youtube.com/HockeyWhizTravels. In my next podcast, I'll be talking about the NHL playoff picture and leading scorers.